Afternoon, it's Pastor Russ coming to you. It's about 2 o'clock, and I wanted to hop online here for a little bit and just give you some updates from last night and prepare you for tonight. So, if you are a servant leader of ours, or if you are the parent of a kid or youth who's attending VBX Vacation Bible Experience with us this week, please spend a little time with me this afternoon. If you're with me, go ahead and like and share this video, tag people in it who you know need to see this. We will, of course, record this. It'll be on YouTube, and I will send that out here in just a little bit to make sure everybody has a chance to see it. But there's some important things I need you guys to know before tonight. I want to give you some updates and want to prepare you for tonight. And so please, again, make sure that we get the word out that that we're doing this video. I've been trying to do this video all afternoon, and we have had some technical difficulties. So we are up. I'm making sure right now we are up and going on each and every one of our platforms. We're on Facebook. I know we're up and going on Facebook. I can see Facebook right now. So if you're with us, let us know you're watching. Give us a like and share this out so other people can see it as well. I'm going to check YouTube and make sure we're good on YouTube. We're good on YouTube, and then of course Twitter as well. I know that many of you guys, we probably don't have as many Twitterers as we do others, but we want to make sure we're up there. So we're good on Twitter as well. So again, guys, please share this video out so that people can see it. I'm in my office and I've had to black out my windows because the sun is so bright outside. So that's what that funny looking paper is on my window behind me. And just want to let you know what's going on there, but hang with me. Hopefully this won't take very long. My goal is not to be on here for 45 minutes again, maybe 10 minutes at the most, but there are some things, especially you servant leaders and especially you parents, need to know about. Okay, so I will begin with just a recap of yesterday. Y'all, we had a fantastic day yesterday from start to finish, from beginning to end. Sunday morning was just awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was unorthodox. I know it was a little out there for a Sunday morning service, but man, it was so fun. We've had such a great response. We had so many kids and families show up, and so many kids and families show up who don't normally attend our church. So if you visited with us yesterday, as we said yesterday, you are always welcome. We love you. We hope to see you back. And part of this whole process is to share Jesus with these students all week, with these youth and these kids all week, and then get them plugged into a church, whether that's our church or some other church. If you live somewhere, away from here and Nicholson Baptist is not an option for you, we will help you find a church in your area. We're not about our church versus other churches. We're about the church of Jesus Christ. We're about the body of Christ. And so accepting Christ, learning about Jesus, that's the first step. Baptism is the first step. And then from there, discipleship happens. And so we want you to understand that our goal is not just to share Jesus with these kids and never hear from them again, but to get them plugged in and to get them discipled and on their way to a lifestyle of following Christ. So yesterday was awesome. Last night, I'll give you some numbers. I know some of you guys are numbers people. I'm not going to put that out there other than in this video, but we had right at 400 kids and youth on the property, probably a few more. We had some registration glitches yesterday. We had right at 200 servant leaders on the property yesterday. Again, give or take a few. And so God is doing an amazing thing here. He's blessed us with an incredible opportunity to share Christ with 600 people. And I expect more tonight. I'm hoping and praying there'll be more here tonight. We know that 9 people gave their lives to Jesus last night. We know that at least 9 people gave their lives to Christ. And so everything we've done up to this point has been worth it. We're celebrating. We are so excited to see what God's going to continue to do this week. And so one of our goals, again, will be to get those 9 people to invest and to take that next step, that first step of obedience, and to be baptized on Thursday. So you will see a baptism link in the description of this video. If you're one of those 9, or if you know your kids came home talking about accepting Christ last night, please reach out to us. We're going to do our best to hit all those bases all week long. But we desire to see your kids follow Christ in baptism. That's the first step of obedience. And you can see that link in the description of this video. So go to that link and sign up, and we'll do that Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Okay. So yeah, I see you guys celebrating with me, Tammy and David and all you guys, Patrick Monroe. What's up, my brother? Tammy and Jesse. Thank y'all for being here. Lori Martin. Yeah. Nine souls, guys, 9 souls. That's what it's all all about. If we don't do anything else all week long, God has done an amazing work here. And so we celebrate that. We praise the Lord for that. We're excited about that, but I believe there's still work to be done. All right. When we have 600 people on campus, there's work to be done. And so you classroom teachers, you servant leaders who are watching this with me right now, your job is to share Jesus with these kids every night. Your job is not to try to coerce them or try to manipulate them. Your job is to tell them about Jesus and what he's done for us and the fact that we're all sinners in need of a Savior. So don't lose perspective. Don't get so caught up in that curriculum that you lose perspective each night, okay? We desire for kids to be introduced to a lifestyle of following Christ, and that's why we're doing what we're doing this week, okay? So with that being said, brief preview of tonight. I've already shared this out on Facebook and Instagram, but brief preview of tonight. Tonight we'll be looking at John chapters 18 through 21, basically a summary and a synopsis of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. And the point tonight, the bottom line will be you can trust Jesus with your life. And so a very evangelical, a very gospel-centered message tonight. And again, we're trusting the Lord to move in the hearts of our young people, okay? We will be doing Chick-fil-A sandwiches for food tonight. We'll be playing downer ball and kickball and some relays outside tonight if we have time. And I'll talk more about our game time here in just a minute, but I want you guys kind of to know what the general plan is for tonight, okay? So let me go through some updates and some information that we have kind of processed and tossed around since last night. And again, I'll try to do this as quickly as I can. First of all, servant leaders. If you're a servant leader, tune in right now. Again, make sure you've shared this video. If you're a servant leader, make sure you're watching. And if you hear some things that your team needs to know, make sure your team has heard this when they get here tonight, okay? First of all, try to be here just as early as you can, okay? We've asked you guys to be here by 5 if possible. Doors open at 5:30, but the quicker we're here, the quicker we can get set up, the quicker we can get people in classrooms. We may be able to open those doors just a tad bit earlier maybe and get people in and get people to their classrooms. And so the first thing is try to get here just as early as you can. We need you. We need you, okay? Second thing is no one tonight, please, whether you're a servant leader, parent, whatever, we need for no one to park on the railroad side of the church at all. The entire strip there, no one needs to park on the railroad side of the church, okay? So we have River of Life. River of Life Church has been so gracious as to offer us their parking lot. We have the parking lot over here as I'm sitting down by our garage where we can park, and then you can park over at East Jackson Park, and we have a tractor with a hayride with a trailer that we'll be able to shuttle you back and forth. But please, 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 do not park on the railroad side of the church last night. That was one of the obstacles with getting kids out of here is we had too many people parked on the railroad side of the church, and we've asked you guys, please don't do that, okay? So please don't park on the railroad side of the church tonight because we're going to have a stream of cars going around the church counterclockwise all night long, okay? Another thing we want to make sure that we do tonight, we're going to kind of address our game time a little bit. We want to shut down and be heading to games around 7:40, all right, 7:40, and we want to shut down games tonight at 8:20. So if you're a games person and you're listening tonight, we want to shut down games no matter what the kids are begging to do, no matter what the teachers are begging to do. We want to shut down those games at 8:20, and we want every kid on the campus in those seats in the sanctuary at 8:30 so we can begin to dismiss at 8:30. And when we're calling for those kids, we're not having to look for them or having to make sure that they're in the sanctuary with us. I will say this, y'all. I thought that check-in and check-in and release, drop off and pick up, both went fantastic last night. Now, you may disagree, but I have a lot of experience with schools. I was in the schools for about 17 years, and I can tell you that on the first day of school, getting kids here and getting them gone is always a nightmare. And we did it well last night, okay? We got everybody in here in 30 minutes, and we got everybody out of here in 30 minutes. So props to our security, props to our parking team, props to welcome and registration, props to all you guys who helped get kids out of here. Parents, we hope you weren't frustrated, but just work with us because when we have 600 people on campus, we are virtually a small school at that point, okay? And it's going to take a little while to safely get kids out of the building. Again, safely. If you come up to our front doors and ask can I get my kids? The answer is probably going to be no unless you walked here to get them, okay? Because we want to make sure that all of our kids are going out the same way. We've seen them. We've placed our eyes on them. We have our hands on them, and they're going into the right vehicles. It's a safety measure for us, and it's a safety measure for you. So just please be patient. Our goal is to get every kid out of here every night by 9 o'clock, and our goal is to have everybody in the building every night by 6 o'clock. And it's just as simple as that. And if we get earlier, if we get a little quicker, good, great, okay? But that's our goal every night, okay? So you classroom teachers, make sure that our kids are back in the building at 8:30. Even if you have to tell the games team, hey, Pastor Russ said shut it down, we got to get back in the classrooms, okay? Servant leaders, again, I'm talking to you specifically. Please don't get your kids at any point in time during the night without letting their teachers know, okay? Apparently, we had some servant leader kids who kind of wandered off or were grabbed by somebody at some point during the night, maybe during games or maybe even during classroom time. I'm not sure. But we want our people to know. We want our teachers to know where their kids are at all times. And I know you think, well, I'm a servant leader. They know my kids. They know that I'm here. They might know that, but when they're looking at 40 kids in their classroom, they're not going to be able to process that, okay? So if you're a servant leader, please let someone know at any time during the night if you get one of your kids, because our teachers have to know that, okay? When we begin to issue kids out the door, we begin to send kids out the door to be picked up at the end of the night. Whoever is calling names, okay, if you're security or parking, you're helping us call those names out. We need you to call name and grade. And so parents, as you're coming through and somebody's asking you, who are you here to pick up? Give us their name and give us the grade they're going into in the fall of 2022. That will help us to narrow it down and distinguish what classroom they're in to get them out the door faster. Okay, so name and grade for each kid that's called out every night. And that will help us to be able to get those kids out the door a little bit faster, a little bit better. Okay. And then servant leaders on Wednesday night, I want to go ahead and tell you this because this is a great medium to try to get all you guys at once. Wednesday night, our classroom time will be cut significantly short, okay, because we're going to have giant slides here. We want the kids to have as much time on those slides as possible. So as soon as I'm done with big group down here at the ES building or at the sanctuary, you guys will feed them, and then we're going to send them outside on the slides. Okay, middle and high school is going to be the same way. As soon as they're done with their service, they're going to eat, then they're going to head down here to jump on those slides. Okay, so just know in the back of your mind, if there are things you want to get to before Wednesday, you need to get to them tonight and tomorrow night so that those things are addressed. Okay, here are some needs from our servant leaders. Still talking to servant leaders. Here are some needs for tonight. We need coolers, we need sprinklers, we need hoses, and we need people willing to take these things around and hook them up. So our plan tonight is to have as many coolers and as much ice and as much water as we can all over campus, okay? We want to have 6 to 8 coolers just sitting out on the game fields up at the middle school and high school over at the East Jackson Park, and we want to have 12 to 16 coolers sitting on game fields out here. It's going to be hot tonight, y'all. The heat index is going to be over 100, okay? So we're going to keep a really close eye on our kids. If they begin to show any signs of heat exhaustion, heat events, anything like that, we're going to bring them in, but we want that water available all night long. And parents, if you're watching this, your kids need to be drinking water, not sodas, not junk, water, and maybe a little bit of Gatorade, Powerade mixed in, but we want them to feel good. We want them to not be lethargic, and we certainly don't want them to be in any danger of having a heat event tonight, okay? Same thing with sprinklers and hoses. We're going to set up sprinklers and hoses all over the property. So as your kids are waiting to do downer ball or kickball, waiting to kick, waiting to chase after balls, they can run through a sprinkler and get a little bit of refreshment there anytime they want to. And so parents, you may want to send a towel tonight. I don't think they're going to get drenched unless you just have kids who want to stand over a sprinkler. And you probably know if your kid's that kid or not. But we want to have sprinklers, hoses, coolers, water all over the property tonight. So if you're a servant leader, you can help us out with those things. Please bring them. Please help us out with those things. Please help us pack the coolers when you get here. Pack them with ice. If you have a side-by-side or a four-wheeler, we can take them around the property. Again, safety is our number one concern, okay? Salvation, safety, those are our number one concerns. And we want to make sure that our kids and our youth are taken care of and they're not getting hot outside. And we want to make sure you guys are not getting hot outside, okay? So make sure that you plug that in and help us out if you can. Now, parents, let me talk to you for just a minute, okay? So this is for parents, but servant leaders, you probably want to stay on and listen because you're going to want to know what I've told parents, right? So everybody's on the same page. So parents, beginning tonight, Drop off and pickup will be done from your car. Let me say that one more time. Drop off and pickup will be done from your car. We're asking you to please not park unless you need to come in to speak with someone about an issue. Please don't dismiss your kids out the front door. Okay, you're going to come in from the 441 side at Dan's store right there at the red light, and you're going to go counterclockwise around the church like you did to pick up the kids last night, and you're going to drop them off at that side door. We're going to have registration set up there. We'll print their name tags there. I hope they still have their bracelets on. If they don't, we'll give them another bracelet. If your kid's new, and by the way, registration is still open. I've had a ton of questions today. Can my kids still come? Absolutely. Y'all get the word out. Absolutely, we'll take more kids. Absolutely, we'll take more youth tonight. But you can register right there from your vehicle. Okay. So again, we're trying to clean up things, and we're trying to be safety conscious, and we're trying to be as quick and as efficient as we can. Now, if nobody parks on the railroad side of the church, as we've asked, we should be able to have 2 lanes of cars, not just one coming out through there. So theoretically, that should cut our time for pickup and drop off if everybody follows directions and everybody does what we're asking you to do. And we'll have security out there to help you remember these things and to help you do these things. Okay. But our goal is for you to keep your kids in your car, for you to stay in your car. You pull up the registration tent. We get them what they need. We give them to a servant leader. They take them in, find their classroom. You never have to get out of your vehicle. Okay. And that should help you stay cool. That should help them stay cool. You don't have to stand in front of the registration tents and sweat. Although, again, I will say registration was virtually flawless last night. We had some technology hiccups, which were not anyone's fault. But other than that, registration went great. Okay. So come through. Don't park. Don't get out of your cars. Drop your kids off. And at the end of the night, we'll be ready to pick them up as we did last night. Hopefully that process is much quicker tonight. If you do have issues or problems, guys, parents in particular, park in the front. I know I just told you not to park, but if you have an issue, if you have a situation, if you have a problem, park in the front, and someone will meet you at the door, and they will get the appropriate person for you to talk to, whether that's me or someone else. Our policy, again, is that from 5:30 to 9 o'clock, no one comes in our door without a green bracelet on. Okay, that's our policy. And so if that upsets you, I'm the person you need to talk to about that, because that's my policy. And again, that's for the safety of our kids. We can't have 400 parents coming in the building, taking your kids to class and hanging out with this person and talking to this person. We don't have the facility space to do that, and that is unsafe. Okay, so from 5:30 to 9 o'clock, the only way you're getting in the building is to have a green bracelet on, which means you are serving here. Okay. If we need to talk about something, I will come to the door, introduce myself. I'll bring you into my office, and we'll talk all night long. Matter of fact, I've tried to personally reach out last night or today to every problem, every situation, every person who had a hiccup last night personally, just to make sure I'm aware and we have addressed that. Okay. And so if you had something that's on your mind last night, we don't want anybody to be upset. We don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. We want you to understand we're trying to do things in a responsible way. Just like if you were to pull up at your kid's primary school, you're not going to be able to get out and go into the building when you pick them up and say, I demand my kid be released right now. You're going to have to go through a process to do that. Okay. It's the same thing here. We want you guys to be we want our kids to be safe, and we want ultimately you guys to be satisfied with the way that we've done things and the way that we've handled your children here. Okay. And again, the bottom line is 600 people on our campus, which is not a huge campus. There are going to be issues sometimes. Okay. There are going to be issues. If you have kids at the park went much smoother than it did here because there's much more space down there. So I would recommend, if you have kids down at the park, okay, you go get them first and you drop them off first, because it's going to be much quicker for you to pick up and drop off your middle school and high school kids than it will be here. Does that make sense to everybody? If you have kids down there and kids here, I would recommend you go there first and go here second. Your kids are not going to miss out on anything from 5:30 to 6 o'clock. Okay. They may do a color sheet. They may play some Simon Says type games, stuff like that, but they're not going to miss out on anything essential from 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So don't worry about that. Amber Brock, I see you. I can provide a cooler with ice. That would be great. Any of you parents who want to contribute a cooler with ice, make sure your name's on it. We're a community. We're doing this together. We want to serve you, but if you're willing to drop off a cooler with some ice, we will certainly take it, because one of my greatest concerns right now is our kids get too hot outside, and I don't want to see that happen. And if we see it happening widespread, we'll bring them back in and we'll play games inside. Okay. So I don't want you to worry about these people are going to force my kids to stay outside for 30 or 45 minutes. That's not the case. If they're having fun and the vast majority of them are doing well, we're going to leave them alone. If they don't, we will address that. And I see somebody on here, I can't see your name besides Leanne. Is there registration at the park? Yes. Yes, there's registration at the park for middle school, high school, upcoming 6th through 12th grade. Registration here for upcoming kindergarten, upcoming pre-K through 5th grade. And registration is open all week long. If you'll check out our Facebook page, our Instagram pages, you can see links where you can pre-register. And that helps us. If you're pre-registered and you pull up, we already have everything in the system. We hit a button, it prints a name tag. It's beautiful, it's seamless, and your kids get to go inside. If you have to register, we have to stop you. We have to get some information from you and put you in the system. That takes just a hair longer. So if you guys who are coming tonight for the first time, if you can find those registration links, I think, as a matter of fact, I still have them in the description of this video now that I think about it. I think they're in the description of this video. Okay, so hit those links, pre-register. That helps us, that helps you, I promise. Can we drop the cooler full of ice and water off in the car rider line? Yes, we will have security people out here. They'll be happy to take that from you, and we'll get somebody with a side-by-side or something to come by and get that where we can best use it. That would be great, guys. That would help us out so much. Okay, so I did just want to address the heat. I've kind of done that indirectly. We are aware of the heat. I'm a former teacher, former coach. I know many of you know that, but I'm well aware of the guidelines that GHSA goes by. I'm well aware of the guidelines that our athletes go by. And so we're watching the heat. We're watching the possibility of thunderstorms, which is not a possibility today, but I'm just telling you, we've got our eyes and ears on everything we can. And so we're not going to force your kids to stay outside if it's too hot. Again, we are going to do our best to get coolers and sprinklers and hoses and things that can help them cool off. But if it gets to that point where the kids are miserable, we're going to bring them inside. Okay, we're not going to force them to stay outside. Again, you may want to send a towel with your kid tonight. You're definitely going to want to send a towel tomorrow night and Wednesday night, okay? Because tomorrow night is slip and slide kickball night. Your kids will get wet all night long. And then Thursday night is giant water slide night, and they will get even more wet all night long, okay? So tonight's really the only night we have to worry about. Tuesday night and Wednesday night, your kids will be in water the whole time they're outside virtually, okay? Tiffany, 6 to 8:30, yes, is our time. And registration starts at 5:30, y'all. So we really would like our kids to be in their seats at 6 o'clock so we can start at 6 o'clock and be as efficient as we can with our time. So I would say really 5:30 to 8:30. Okay, get them here at 5:30 if you can, and be here at 8:30 to pick them up. And again, we were done at about 8:58 last night. And I know 28 minutes is kind of a long time, but it's really not when you're getting rid of 400 kids. Okay, so again, be patient with the drop off and with the pickup, and we will do our best. We have a team here, y'all. If y'all could have seen our team last night, it was just fantastic. They were on it. There was nobody standing around. Everybody was doing exactly what they were supposed to do all night long, but especially during our pickup time. It could have taken an hour and a half. I'm just here to tell you, but it took about 28 minutes for us to get all kids out the door. I was super pleased with that. And again, I hope that you're pleased with that as well. I hope you didn't feel like that you had to wait too long to make that happen. Okay. And so again, y'all, that's it for me. It's 23 minutes, a little longer than I was hoping for, but if you have any questions, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. So send your questions, your comments right now, and I'll try to address those. I can see everything that's coming through right now, and I want to make sure that I do you guys diligence in that. So anybody right now, questions, comments, concerns, anything you got for us? Thanks for the compliment, Kristen. We've been planning this since January. Of course, as our numbers increased, we've had to make some adjustments and some tweaks. We had to send middle school and high school to a completely different area. So full disclosure, y'all, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be issues from time to time. We have an army of 200 people, and everybody's not always exactly on the same page. You guys who have been in leadership and management understand that. But if everybody's patient and everybody understands the goal is to be safe, to get our kids here, to get our kids gone, we're all on the same page and we're all good to go. All right. Our heart is to take care of your kids and to teach them about Jesus. That's it. There's nothing more, nothing less, no hidden agenda. Okay. So just let us know what we can do for you. Anybody else questions? I'll stay on for just a few more seconds here. I'm going to look back through my notes and make sure that I did not miss anything. Any of you security guys who are on here looking at this, if if you have anything I need to address, you can send me a text right now if you want to, if you don't want to put it on here. But anything I've forgotten, now would be a great time to. Yes, I said we didn't let's see, didn't hear everything on the live. Can you say the important stuff again? The important stuff tonight, y'all, is just to get here on time, to not park on the property for servant leaders or parents. We're going to ride you guys through the line like we did last time. Servant leaders park down at down at River of Life, or down at East Jackson Park, or on the backside of our property down by the garage. We want the whole parking lot open so we can run parents through and get kids dropped off and get kids picked up. Servant leaders, we need coolers, we need sprinklers, we need hoses. Our plan is to have water abundant all over the place. So if you can help us out with any of that, any parents who'd be willing to donate that kind of stuff, that's great too, y'all. We're not asking for it. Trust me. We want to provide this as a free service for our community. But if you're willing, if the Lord's led you to say, hey, I'll bring a case of water, I'll bring a cooler with some ice, by all means, we'll take that. Okay. There's nothing really super essential. I mean, basically, we're just trying to clean up some things that we thought were issues. So, Miss Brenda, I see you there. I'll be helping with food the rest of the week. Do I need a wristband and T-shirt? Listen to me, guys. Everybody who's a servant leader here has to have a green wristband. Okay. If you don't, we're going to stop you and ask you what you're doing here, and ask you to go get one. And I did it with at least 4 people myself last night, and I'm not even parking their security. Okay. So when you check in, you go to our check-in tent, which will be on the side where the railroad tracks are. You'll give them your name. They will give you a wristband. And if we have any shirts left, which we do for medical and food, we'll be happy to give you a T-shirt. At this point, I don't even know where we stand with our red and blue shirts. If we have them, we'll give them to you. And if we don't, of course, we can't. We ordered almost 800 shirts, I think, and they're gone. So, we've had people like, so let's see, Jenna Lewis, she took care of that for me. Debbie Johnson, what's the pickup procedure for workers' kids? So our workers' kids all go to the sanctuary, and they stay there till every other kid is gone. Okay, so again, we had all workers and their kids out of here by 9 o'clock last night. And same thing for workers when you check in. Workers, if you'll check in and send your kids to the sanctuary, we'll make sure that they're at least corralled in there, and that they're safe. They're not running around all over campus, and we'll make sure we have a place for them. Okay. Big Kids 2. What's Big Kids 2? Let's see. Yeah, so Miss Becky, I know you didn't listen to this whole thing, but I did mention that it's easier to go and drop and pick off your big kids up at the 6 through 12 area, the East Jackson Park, than it is here. And so if you have people at both places, I would recommend you go to the park first and then come here second. Becky, what's the Big Kids 2 question that you're asking here? I'm trying to follow everything that's coming through. And again, guys, I'm just checking here, make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. Anybody else? My computer screen. I'm getting old, guys. I need some readers to read what's going on my screen. Trying to make sure I've hit everything that you guys are asking here. I'll stay on for another couple of minutes. That'll make it an even 30 minutes. Any questions, comments? Are they going to the sanctuary? Someone taking them up there? Who is they, Miss Becky? I don't. If you need to text me, Becky, we can talk. So if you have, I think she may be asking about servant leader kids. If you're serving at the East Jackson Park, you're a servant leader. You're not a parent. You're a servant leader, and you're serving at East Jackson Park, and you have kids that need to come down here to the church. We have a way to get them here. They can ride the hayride down here. Okay, if that's what you're asking. If you're serving here at the church and you need to get kids up to the park, again, we have a way to do that. However, parents, please don't drop your middle school and high school kids off at the church and expect us to get them up there for you. And vice versa. Don't drop them off at the park if they need to be here at the church. Parents, if you're not serving with us, you need to hit both places. Servant leaders, you have a place to be by 5 o'clock. So that's why we're providing you with a way to help get your kids where they need to be. Okay. So I hope that clears that up. Becky says, yes, that clears that up. So servant leaders, if you're serving up at the park, 6th through 12th grade up there at the East Jackson Park, just communicate with a security guard or with registration up there that you have a second grader or whatever that needs to get back down here, and we'll take care of that for you, and vice versa down here at the church. Okay, but parents, please make sure that you take your kids exactly where they need to be, because we just don't have the capacity to be running kids back and forth. So someone just sent me a text that says, do we need a towel and be getting wet? What I said was, for tonight, we're going to set up sprinklers, as many sprinklers as we can all over the property. So your kids will be running back and forth through sprinklers tonight. Now, if you know your kid is likely to sit on a sprinkler or to stay on a sprinkler, right, you may want to send a towel with them. Okay. But we will, our goal tonight's not to get kids drenched. Okay. Our goal tomorrow night and Wednesday night is to get kids drenched, but not tonight. But we realize the heat index is climbing on up into the 100. So we're going to put sprinklers out, and we'll give them the opportunity, as they're playing downer ball, kickball, whatever they're playing, to run in and out of sprinklers. Okay. So I hope that clears that up for anybody who was asking that. We're just trying to make some small adjustments so that our kids don't get overheated. And if you're just joining me, if the kids look like they're getting overheated, we're going to shut things down and bring them inside. Okay. So I don't want you to stress about your kids getting overheated. All right. That's something that we're going to be super sensitive towards. A couple of our fields are in the shades and a couple of them aren't. And so that helps. Let's see. Got another question coming through here. Let's see. Yes. And so again, Miss Becky's asking this, but servant leaders, we can get your kids after things are over up to the park, and we can get park kids of servant leaders who are at the park back down to the church if we need to do that at the end of the night too. But it will probably be 9 o'clock. And if we can get, so we will have, I'll make sure that our security is aware that we need to get servant leader kids back down here as soon as possible, or back up there as soon as possible. Okay. So we'll make sure that's addressed. And security, if you're listening to me, we need to make sure that we get kids of servant leaders who are stuck at the park down here as soon as possible. Kids of servant leaders who are down here at the church transferred up to the park that need to be there as soon as possible. Okay. And again, guys, a lot of this is just communication, over communication. The job of a pastor is to tell people things that they probably already know over and over and over again, just like you guys who are parents, just like you guys who are teachers. Our jobs are virtually the same. We just tell people things that they already know or should already know over and over and over again until it finally clicks. Okay. But y'all do me the favor of sharing this out even after we're done, because people can see the general gist of what we're trying to communicate tonight. And I will do this every day, and it may not take 5 minutes tomorrow. We may have everything worked out, and I just tell you how the night went, but I will do this every day, hopefully around lunchtime. Again, we had a Wi-Fi issue here and couldn't get things going. So that's our plan, is to keep you updated every single week. And I'm super available, y'all. I'm here every day, all day. You can call my cell phone. You can send me a text. You can stop by and see me if you need to. Matt Smith is our youth director. He is in charge. He's directing everything up at the park there. And Matt is a super great guy too. Not that I'm a super great guy, but Matt's a super great guy. You can meet with him. You can communicate any concerns you have for him up there. Matt Ring is our head of security up at the park, and Jesse Fowler is our head of security down here. They're both doing a fantastic job. All of our teachers, all of our servant leaders, games, the whole 9 yards. Everybody is doing such a great job. Obviously, I mean, we couldn't do this without people who are taking their positions seriously. And every single one of them's doing it for free. Y'all, nobody's getting paid a thing, okay, to do what they're doing this week. And so if you're a parent, if you're a community member, make sure you let our people know that you appreciate them, if you will, okay, because I appreciate them, and they don't have to be out here doing this. But they're having fun, and they're making an eternal impact on the lives of kids, okay? So if anybody else, questions, comments, I see you guys kind of going back and forth there. The link to register is on the description of this video. The link to register middle school and high school, there's a link to give if you want to give financially. Again, we're not asking for that, but I've had people ask me, how can I give to this? There's a link to give in the description of this video. You just go to that website and there's a drop down where you can select VBX if that's your heart. By all means, we would love that. There's a link to our Spotify playlist if you want to listen to the music we're playing and singing this week. And there's a link to a baptism link, or there's a link to a baptism form if your kids want to be baptized. If you want to be baptized on Thursday outdoors at the park, it'll be really cool. Sign up to be baptized and do that ASAP so we can go ahead and begin to plan and prepare for that. Okay. I haven't seen anything come through here recently. Let's see. Just trying to make sure that I've hit everything that you guys are asking here. So I think I've answered everything. And again, if I haven't, shoot me a text, give me a phone call, or ask me tonight, especially if you're a servant leader. The biggest thing is we're asking for is coolers and water and sprinklers, because we need those tonight. And get here as early as you can. Servant leaders, be prepared to serve until at least 9 o'clock. If you're going to take your kids away from class, make sure our teachers know that. I'm not going to go back to everything, but those are some big things that I wanted to address. Follow the directions of our security team. If there's a cone in a parking lot down here at the church, don't park in it, please. That means we need that area. Yeah, Cassidy, I'm really excited too, baby. We're glad that you're with us this week. Registration's still open, so spread the word. We'll take as many as we can, especially at our middle school, high school area. We can take a lot of kids up there. And I think we had about 150 up there last night, and we can take a lot more. Okay. So y'all get prepared. Make sure your kids are drinking some water today. Make sure they're mentally prepared. And yeah, somebody just said, I want to get baptized. So the link is down below the video. If you look at this video on Facebook or YouTube, okay, I don't know what you're watching on. On YouTube, it's down below the video. On Facebook, it should be above the video, but that link is there for you guys to sign up and get baptized. Okay, so please hit that link. It's very short and simple. It's basically just what's your name and cell phone number, I think, because I'm going to contact you personally and make sure that that's what you want to do. Okay, guys, if nobody's told you they love you today, let me be the first. I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. We love your kids. If you could see this place, if you haven't seen it, you would understand how much Nicholson Baptist Church loves your kids and loves the kids of our community. And we want to be a fixture in this community. Okay. What I tell our people all the time, if you're watching this, if you don't know much about us, is our goal is to address this question. If Nicholson Baptist Church no longer existed, would our community miss us? And so we want that answer to be yes. We want to pour in our community as much as we can, to the point that if our church was no longer here, you guys would really miss us. And that's the mission of the gospel. It's not to turn inward and focus on all our little wants and needs and desires. It's to turn outward and to minister to a community who's in need. Our community's in need just like every other community. And so that's our heart. That's our goal. That's why we're doing what we're doing this week. And we're glad you're a part of it. Okay. So again, y'all share this video. I'm going to copy a link, send it out. I will say this, our Breeze notification system that we use has been slow and laggy and almost non-functional today. And so if you don't get a link to this video, you can visit it on YouTube. It's not going anywhere, but I'll make sure it's sent out. Okay. So we love you. We can't wait to see you tonight. Y'all spread the word, get people out here. And I can't wait to see what God's going to do. All right. We'll see you real soon. Y'all